Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today I'll be continuing to read Becoming Muhammad Ali. So let's continue. Today I'm reading Round 7. Round 7. Want another scene from the movie starring Cassius? Here's one, at least how I remember it. It was a fall afternoon. We were out back at the Clay house. Me, Cassius, and Rudy. We had borrowed some of Mr. Clay's paints to make posters to promote Cassius's next fight. But Cassius wasn't satisfied with just names and places and dates and times. He had to add a little drama, a little color, a little poetry. "Come see Clay go all the way," he wrote on one poster. Another one said, "In just one round, his opponent goes down." I helped with the spelling, but the language was all his. For Cassius, it wasn't enough to be a fighter. He had to be a fighter with flair. Cassius loved music. Hound Dog and Long Tall Sally were on the radio all the time that year. I think maybe that's where he got the ideas for his rhymes. He always had songs in his head, but the words came out pure Cassius. "By the end of the bout, his lights will be out," like that. After the paint dried, we hauled them all over the West End, putting up posters wherever we could find an empty space on a wall or a fence. We were putting up the last poster near a house on Virginia Avenue when we heard a screen door opening. A lady in a bright pink housecoat came out onto her stoop. She was looking straight at the poster, and she got red-hot mad. "Hey, you boys can't put that poster up there," she hollered. "It's public property, ma'am," said Cassius, polite as always. He put another tack through the poster. "I know it is," the lady said, "but that's my nephew you're going to be fighting. I can't have you bragging over him. Ain't right." Cassius looked at the poster. Right below his name, in smaller letters, was the name of his opponent, Jimmy Ellis. "Ma'am?" Cassius asked, pointing at her. "You Jimmy's aunt?" "That's right," she said, pointing right back. "And I know who you are. You're Cassius Clay, and Jimmy is going to knock you silly." Cassius just smiled as he put the last tack in the poster. "Sorry, ma'am," said Cassius. "Jimmy and I are friends, but when we get into that ring, I don't know him. Nothing silly about that." And at that very moment, I knew Jimmy Ellis was going down. In Louisville, boxing for kids was so popular that they actually put it on television. On the local station, Wave. The show was called Tomorrow's Champions, and Cassius was the main attraction. In fact, he treated Wave like his own personal TV empire. For every bout, he was so confident. It was like he'd already won before the fight even started. Cassius was just 89 pounds when he licked his first opponent, Ronnie O'Keefe, and plenty more dropped after that. Big kids, strong kids. When the bell rang, they came out swinging. Cassius just leaned back and let their punches land in midair. Then he started to jab back with his long arms. Right, left, thud, 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 thud. Pretty soon, his opponents would be so tired from throwing air punches that they'd be bent over and panting. Cassius was already at another level. He had a way of knowing exactly when a punch was coming and where it was coming from. "My built-in radar," he told me. Nobody, fans, trainers, sparring partners, had ever seen anything like it. "It can't be," one ref said, but it was. Pretty soon, my friend Cassius wasn't the only one saying he was the greatest. All over Louisville, everybody was saying the same thing. This is the part where Cassius is speaking. So let's continue. Cassius versus Jimmy Davis, February 4th, 1955. I won 4 fights in a row, one with a TKO, so I took it a little easy getting ready for my big fight in the Louisville Golden Gloves tournament against a little funny-looking kid named James Davis. I slept in a lot, skipped running in Chickasaw days a time, Just ran to school and back. Didn't drink much garlic water. Goofed around with the fellas at the gym. Stayed up late reciting rhymes with Rudy. And ate almost a whole chocolate cake plus 3 bowls of ice cream for dinner on my 13th birthday. All of which is why Joe Martin said I looked sleepy. Fought with no killer instinct. Got beat like a rented mule. And lost my 5th fight to a short, funny-looking kid named Jim Davis. Cassius Clay, 4 wins, 1 loss. Cassius Clay versus John Hampton. July 22nd, 1955. Hamp smiled when he landed a few body shots, so when he got close enough to me, I whispered, "That's all you got?" Then threw a left jab and a right hook that sent him tumbling into the mat. Cassius Clay, 9 wins, 2 losses. Conversation with Rudy. You racking up the wins, Gigi. How do you feel? I feel with my hands. Now let me practice. I saw Teeny and Riney today. I'm trying to concentrate, Rudy. I'm just saying. I think they're going together. You know her cousin Alice? Yeah. She asked me to be her boyfriend. I thought you already had a girlfriend, Rudy. Just 'cause you don't have time for girls, Gigi, don't mean I gotta be the same. You think Riney and Teeny are really a thing? I don't know, Rudy. You mad? Mad that you won't let me focus. Ain't nobody thinking about Riney, Teeny, or her cousin Alice. Now, unless you want a fat lip, you best let me finish my sit-ups. Before we got home from training at the gym, I made Rudy jump rope with me another 15 minutes, then do bicycle crunches and sit-ups in the backyard until we both just collapsed into the stars, dreaming about the future until Cash brought us back to the present. We thought we'd done something wrong when he kept hollering for us to come inside, but when he did, and I saw him shaking his head, chin trembling, and grief pouring from his eyes, we thought again. And when he showed us the picture of the dead boy, we cried too. I was 13 when I lost my first fight, and my first girl to be my best friend. When Teeny told me that she chose Riney 'cause I was married to my boxing gloves and the ring. When I got real serious and about the sweet science, trained and fought like a madman. When I decided that one day I was gonna become the heavyweight champion of the world. When my daddy showed us a gruesome magazine photograph of a 12-year-old faceless boy who was visiting family in Mississippi for the summer when he was shot in the head, drowned in the river, and killed for maybe whistling at a white woman. When I got to see Emmett Till on the face of America. After. Even though I won the next few fights, I felt a devastating loss. I was 13 when I realized that maybe boxing could save us, take me away from all this. The next few years, I fought like a gladiator, ate like a champ, lit up contenders in the ring like a lamp, sparred on the daily, kept my fists high, danced on my feet like a black butterfly. Me and Rudy Baker battled 2 rounds. I sent him home crying, back to Smoketown. Twice I laid Donnie Hall out flat, walked all over him like a doormat. I boxed non-stop and trained insane. One thing on my mind, no pain, no gain. A guy with a camera films me dancing around my corner, waiting for the ref to blow his whistle. Hey, kid! Another guy in a baseball cap with a pen and pad yells from the folded seats. You think you can take Jimmy Ellis? I look right square in the camera lens and yell back, Introduce. Reprise. I'll shake him, break him, then take him out. Who'll win this fight there should be no doubt. Cassius Clay is unstoppable, and you don't forget, the man to beat me ain't been born yet. Cassius Clay versus Jimmy Ellis, August 30th, 1957. He came out smiling and swinging, strong and swift like Duke Ellington on the keys. So I just danced to the rhythm in my head, bobbing and weaving, letting him tag me a few times so I could get a feel for his might and for the fight he was bringing. And when I saw he was getting tired in the third and final round, I whispered, "No offense, Jimmy," then smiled for the cameras and opened up a can of Louisville Blues that he wasn't expecting to hear. I threw a solid punch with my left to his side, and while he was distracted with the pain, I landed a quick, clean uppercut with my right to his jaw that turned that smile into a frown and shut all his music off. Cassius Clay, 16 wins, 2 losses. Rematch. I saw Jimmy Ellis at Fred's Stoner's gym, and we got to talking about the fight. Then some guys started talking smack about how the judges did Jimmy wrong and the fight was fixed and whatnot. So yeah, I told him, let's fight again. Cassius Clay versus Jimmy Ellis, Part 2, October 12th, 1957. More people in Louisville watched our rematch than I Love Lucy that week, which is good, 'cause a million folks saw my pretty face, but bad 'cause they saw it when I took off my headgear after losing it in a split decision, 1 judge for me and 2 for him. Cassius Clay, 17 wins, 3 losses. Conversation with Rudy. Sorry, Gigi. For what, Rudy? I mean, 'cause of that fight last night. Can't have delight if you don't see the dark, Rudy. Sound like something Granddaddy Herman would have said. Rudy, I'm still the greatest. In fact, I may be the double greatest. Can I ask you a question, Gigi? I don't know, can you? Think we'll ever get there? Get where? The Golden Gloves? Not if you don't quit interrupting my flow. The kid who won this year was from Cleveland. I know. He was a light middleweight. Strong, though. Not as strong as the kid a few years ago from St. Louis. Never saw anybody hit that hard. He was a heavyweight, Rudy. Name was Sonny Liston. I swear, he hit so hard, Gigi. He probably turned a human brain into grits. Turned July into June. That's one joker you don't want to get in the ring with. The fight is won before you get in the ring, Rudy. What's that supposed to mean? Means I ain't gonna always be there to protect you. So focus, Rudy. I'm bigger than you. Won as many fights as you. What I need protection for? Keep yapping, little brother, and I'll show you. Gigi, can I ask you something? You just did. What are we gonna do after high school? Same thing we're doing now. Knock out whoever's silly enough to get in the ring with us. But that's not a job. It was a job for Sugar Ray and Joe Louis. I hear you talking, Gigi, but maybe we ought to have a backup, like the Army. I got 2 words for you and Uncle Sam. What's that? Heck and no! Until this country treats boys like me and you as human beings, I ain't fighting for no flag. True? Now stop bothering me, and let me hit these bags. I gotta be ready.